Ethical Investing, Patagonia vs. Oxford by Samantha Farrow. What are ethics? Ethics are a set of moral principles that govern a person's behavior or action. Ethics are necessary to ensure equal rights are given to everybody, making people accountable for their own actions and help keep balance in society. Ethic can be subjective to the person or situation. This in turn hinders the validity in many circumstances and can cause a split set of opinions. Patagonia is a private benefit corporation founded 1973 by Yvon Chouinard, started by a band of climbers and surfers that grew out of a small company that made tools for climbers. Alpinism is at the heart of the business, promoting the best built products, causing no unnecessary harm, inspiring others and implementing solutions for the environmental crisis. Patagonia supplies clothing for skiing, snowboarding, surfing, fly fishing, paddling and trail running, promoting what is called silent sports, which do not require motors and is about moments of connection between us and nature. Using only recycled and organic materials, Patagonia stays true to their core values, donating at least 1% of our sales to hundreds of grassroots environmental groups all over the world who work to help reverse the tide. With 30-plus years in business, Patagonia has created a company that you would be proud to run and work for. The Baptist World Aid Report on Ethical Fashion 2017 has awarded Patagonia with an A rating for ethical supplying and sourcing of their product. The Baptist World Aid Report awards Patagonia with an A+ in policies, A+ in knowing your suppliers, A in auditing and supplier relationships, and a B for worker empowerment, with an overall score of A. This is an outstanding score, with only 4 brands receiving an A+ and 11 brands receiving an A, Patagonia being one of them. The ethical theory triple bottom line is made up of 3 factors: environment, social and economic. Patagonia always has the best intentions for the environment, the founder Yvon Chouinard discontinuing the product of pitons which were severely damaging the rock faces of many iconic sites. At the time, pitons were the most grossing product within the business, and the discontinuation of the pitons was an extremely risky business move. Since then, Patagonia has always maintained high environmental standards, currently being signatories on a number of standards and associations. These include the Blue Design Standard, focusing on the best practices for the use of chemicals and resources in the clothing industry, the European Outdoor Conservation Association, focusing on the care and respect for wild places. Patagonia also signed the Cotton Pledge, signifying commitment to not use Uzbekistani cotton, as Uzbekistani is widely recognized for having some of the worst labor conditions in the world, demonstrating their achievements by receiving a high rating of A in the Baptist World Aid Australia Ethical Fashion Report 2017, mitigating against forced labor, child labor in their supply chains. Economically, Patagonia is not the most profitable business, with their share price dropping significantly in the last 5 years, seen on page 7 graphs and finds. Their recent drop in the last 4 years has seen Patagonia fall down the ladder. However, they have always stayed true to what they believe and upheld a standard and reputation. This has seen them team up with Billabong, stocking Patagonia's brand in their stores. This strategical move will benefit Patagonia greatly. Billabong's culture and Patagonia's admirable morals will make them a strong team to watch out for. The graph shows the economic growth of Patagonia had in the last 5 years. The shares for the business are sitting on $0.025 as of May 26, 2017, and are experiencing a slight increase. Although Patagonia is a known brand, their popularity lied with outdoor enthusiasts. It has only been recently that Patagonia has signed with Billabong. This has seen them become a fashion trend for young skaters. This was an extremely strategic business move by Patagonia, generating a significant amount of foot traffic able to access their stock. With Patagonia's products now in majority of malls around Australia, this opens up their clientele to not just only catering for the outdoor mountaineers. The result of Patagonia's fall in the stock market could be due to them not being commonly known and competing with big-name competitors like Kathmandu. The findings show that Patagonia's shares in 2012 were worth 45 cents and have dropped $0.425 to $0.025 in the last 5 years. This is a drop of 94%. Patagonia are ever so slightly seeing an increase in their stocks. Their potential is very high and is defiantly a company to watch in the near future. Oxford is a franchise business first established in 1978. Oxford opened its doors in Sydney Bondi Junction before opening an additional 20 stores in Melbourne, Canberra and Brisbane. The concept behind Oxford is to provide a bridge between designer clothing and overcrowded middle market. Seen as sometimes quirky, the brand is an alternative to many higher-priced brands, evolving over time into a contemporary, modern and stylish collection catering for both men and more recently women, aiming at communicating a clear message of a welcoming internal store environment, enhancing the level of service and exceptional product knowledge. The Baptist World Aid Australia Report on Ethical Fashion 2017 has awarded Oxford with an F rating for ethical supplying and sourcing of their product. The Baptist World Aid Report awards Oxford with an F in policies, F in knowing your suppliers, F in auditing and supplier relationships, and F for worker empowerment, with an overall score of F. Scoring F on all 4 categories is a poor effort and reflects badly on the company. The rights theory stares at every person is afforded universal natural rights, and any actions that denies this deemed unethical. Rights established by constitutions and laws as well as Universal Declaration of Human Rights is in conjunction with the rights theory. Oxford does not comply with the rights theory by not affording every person universal natural rights. Denying this to people is deemed unethical. By not supplying workers with a living wage or good working conditions isn't giving all workers equal rights. However, you could argue that Oxford is applying the utilitarianism rights theory, which is focused on the betterment of society, not on individuals' rights. It is concerned with treating people as an end, not a means to an end, and if they sacrifice a small amount of workers for the betterment of the clothing, then they are complying by this theory. The graph shows the economic growth of Oxford had in the last 5 years. The shares for the business are sitting on $53 as of May 26, 2017, and are experiencing a slight decrease. Oxford has many rises and falls throughout the 5 years. They peaked in the middle of 2015, reaching around $85. After this, however, Oxford have had a steady decline in share prices and can see them sitting around $50 now, still maintaining a rise from 2012 by 17%. You could say that the success to their business being profitable could come from the cutting of corners and unethical way they go about sourcing their clothes. This for a larger scale business like Oxford would make sense. If they wish to maximize profit, where the business can save money they will. Majority of Oxford stakeholders have benefited from this process of cutting corners and not complying to the ethical principles of the rights theory. Customers have received fast new changing styles keeping up with the latest trends. Owners have been able to maximize profits from the money-saving tactics they have used, and employees of the business have had a better chance at job positions as more stores open around Australia. However, some stakeholders have not been so privileged and have been exposed to harsh working conditions as well as not being given a living wage, struggling every moment of their lives. This in turn has an impact on the shareholders of the business, with fast-moving clothes and latest fashion trends being available. This attracts new customers and boosts the profitability of the business, in turn helping them grow their shares, making a profit. Oxford's effects on the community are not only unfair but demoralizing for the workers who make and supply their clothing. Scoring all Fs on the Baptist World Aid Australia report for ethical fashion demonstrates a lack of sensitivity and carelessness towards their workers. This lack of concern affects many people's rights as humans for equal and fair treatment. Oxford not knowing who they are being supplied or not wanting to share for fear of tarnishing their reputation, allows exploitation of workers with the market competing to get big brand companies to source through them so they can make steady profit. Reference